What is up, everybody? JC Technoboy here, and welcome to this is my first time doing my video here and the reaction. Um, I'm gonna be reacting to 10 Really Creepy True Stories by one of my favorite YouTubers, Mr. Nightmare. Now, if you guys want to see the original video, there'll be a link in the description down below. Also, I'll be reacting to the videos from the old videos to the new videos of Mr. Nightmare. So, I'll be doing more videos of reaction of it. I might be able to do more videos from different ones. So, alright, here we go.
A single mom with 3 kids. Luckily, there was a girl a couple of years older than me. She was 12 at the time I met her, and we got to know each other a little over a couple of years. We weren't close, but we ended up having the same friends. One night my friend Rob was hanging out with her and her younger brother. They happened to be in the house alone because my friend's mom was at work. Her mother has been helping this one lady through her work and got to know her fairly well. She found out her sister was in a mental institution and was let out recently. The night Rob is hanging out with my friend, they get a knock on the door. My friend thought it was just their mom, since she knocks a certain way when coming in, and he answered it without thinking. Rob wasn't supposed to be there and he took off through the window to his house down the road. He never thought twice about it. It wasn't her mom. It was the sister of the lady her mom was helping, and she figured out through talking to her sister where her family lived and her mom's working schedule. She came in. This is where I don't know the details, and I'm glad I don't. My friend's younger brother got away to the neighbor's house to call the police. The lady brutally murdered my friend a week from Christmas, decapitated her, and left her body naked in a bathtub. She even hid her head. They had to look through the presents, and I don't know where they found it, but they did. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral.
Okay, that was very brutal. Very brutal. I'd probably say that's a little bit something I would say. If you're probably hearing the background noise, that's the washing machine. It's very loud. I have a feeling it might get damaged or so. Anyways, the main thing is this almost got me scared, but I always enjoy these scary stories. Sorry if you're looking at the brightness here, but yeah, I know. But anyways, let's move on.
It happened to my wife's grandmother about 15 years ago while we were still dating. Her husband had just passed away about a year previously, but she'd been going down to the library and volunteering. It was exercise and socialization. This was in the winter, so her walk back was while it was getting dark. The library closed at 5 and there was some extra stuff to do before everyone actually left, and on this particular night, she turned down a ride from another volunteer because she needed to stay in shape. The house is about a mile away through some lightly wooded area in South Texas, and as she's about halfway home, she notices someone behind her. He's walking the same direction and gaining on her, which in itself isn't all that particular. She's old and thus not particularly fast, but in this case he seems vaguely sinister. They keep walking. Pretty soon he's right behind her. Then he falls into pace, just staying behind her. Now she knows something's up. But she's almost home. She can see the top of her driveway coming up, and she leaves her lights on so it'll look like someone's home when she's walking in. She just needs to make it another 150 yards. 150 yards. Then 100. All that time, she said he was so close that she could feel his breath on her neck. Around maybe 50 yards, it happens. A strong hand on her shoulder. Okay, bitch, don't turn around and hand over your purse or I'll cut you.
Oh, come on.
She stops for a second, then takes one big step forward, turns and shoots the guy in the neck with the .38 she keeps in her purse.
Just like that. Just like
The guy spent the next 5 years in a prison hospital before he died of complications. My wife's grandmother passed last year, but up to the end, she lamented that she pulled the trigger too soon.
Okay, I think she did pull the trigger a little too soon, but a little too late somehow. But at least she put it into that person. me. I would say that she actually did a good job. And yeah, that guy who had the knife on it, he deserves it. He shouldn't have done what he was supposed to. But yeah, I would probably say that she made the right decision of carrying a gun. Sometimes you have to carry a weapon with you in case, because you never know what could happen or what might be out there. Alright, on to number 8.
When I was young, I'd say 8 to 11-ish, my sister, whom is 7 years older, would babysit when my parents were out. At the time, she smoked a lot, and my parents made her smoke outside, of course. So I'd follow her outside, play around, annoy her and such. One day, my sister notices a car at the end of the driveway, just sitting in the road. It's a white SUV with a bike rack on top. It has the most tinted windows I've ever seen. You could not see inside from the side. It sat there until she went inside, then would drive to the end of the road and sit at the church parking lot and wait. Wait until she'd come out again for another smoke. And it would repeat this. Odd, but my sister is a brave lady and just kind of ignored it. That is, until the next day while my parents were out again and it showed up again. It would sit at the end of the driveway and just watch. I don't know what the driver was doing, but he was watching my sister. I know, because if I didn't go out, I'd watch from the front window and it would just sit there and watch my sister. She told my father, who was a sheriff deputy at the time, and he called the cops and made a complaint. They showed up, looked around, but the SUV was nowhere to be seen. Months went by and nothing. Then one day, a good 9 months after this had all started and around 4 months since the last sighting, it was back. It became a regular occurrence. Another day, my sister was outside doing her nasty habit, and sure enough, here it comes. This time we were all alone as usual, and she decides she has had enough. She tells me to stay in the carport and she's gonna go confront them. She starts walking toward the SUV, and halfway down the driveway, she would later remark to us, "I felt utter terror, like I knew if I went any further, I was dead.
Dang good.
I was paralyzed by pure fear." She turned around and went inside. Finally, the family car was in the shop for some kind of issue, so we were all stuck home for the night. While my parents are home, my sister goes outside to smoke. I go outside with her, and eventually the SUV shows up. She tells me to run inside and tell my father, and I do. My dad promptly gets his gun and starts briskly walking down the driveway with it in hand, in the direction of the SUV, but not leveled towards it. The SUV floored it down the road and peeled out onto the nearby large highway. My dad, being a cop, noted the year and model and distinguishing features. The scariest thing, the license plate had been covered in duct tape. We never saw it again.
Okay, I don't know much about that, but I'm not going to know. Never go near any vehicles at night, especially at night. That is something. That is wow. I mean, that is very creepy when I see it. Just it's too nervous when it happens. All right, on to number 7. You know what? I'm just gonna finish number 7 and then number 6, and I'll do a part 2 on this.
I was just 4 or 5 years old and my parents had just separated. My mom was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I had my own room, but I preferred to sleep in her bed whenever I was staying with her. Our 2 bedrooms were at the end of the hallway, directly across from each other. Our apartment was on the first floor, and I remember that it was in the middle of the summer, and my mom had a window open in her room, which was directly behind the bed above the headboard. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night and remember sitting up and seeing that our cat was sitting in the doorframe of my mom's room. I should note her door was open and you could partially see into my bedroom. This was strange because our cat was typically always in bed with us. As I was watching him, he walked into my bedroom and meowed. I turned to face my mom and woke her up. In the 3 or 4 seconds it took me to wake her up and ask me what was wrong, we both looked back up at the doorframe, and there was a man standing by my open door, making his way out of the bedroom. I still don't know how she managed to do it so quickly, but my mother proceeded to pick me up and literally throw me out of the screen window. She quickly followed and we were able to start screaming for help, and someone called 911. The police came but didn't see any signs of forced entry, only that our front door was unlocked, which led them to believe that the man must have exited that way. The strange thing was that my mom swore up and down that she had locked the door that night with the deadbolt and chain lock. About a week later, she was cleaning the kitchen and opened up our water heater closet and found a notebook with names and drawings, as well as a pair of gloves and some gum wrappers. The police were called again, but all they could do was speculate that the man had been in our house and hid until we were asleep.
Whoa, that is keep your doors locked.
One day while doing my laundry, one of the lights blew out in my basement. My basement is set up so that the laundry room is split up from the other side of the basement with a wall and a door. In order to get upstairs, you have to exit the laundry room and go through the other part of the basement. So the light blew in the other part, not the laundry room. As it was the only light on that side, it was pretty dark. I finished the laundry I had to do while dreading the walk through the dark basement. I exit the laundry room, get halfway through the basement, and I hear a loud cackle. Imagine a sound people make when they imitate a witch. Take that and imagine the witch had been smoking for 50 years, making her voice deeper and hoarser. That's what I heard, clear as day, right behind.
Okay, that almost got me. Okay, that kind of got me there. I didn't notice that was gonna happen. Okay, guys, that sound effect, yeah, sound effects, can sometimes get me sometimes. But yeah, oh, witches like that. That's what they sound like. Oh, and if you're wondering, I had to get the camera screen a little bigger, so you can all see me, because you won't be able to see me with a small square screen there. Anyways, let's resume it.
Behind me. I didn't hesitate to bolt for the stairs. I waited until my father got home and then changed the bulb. I have yet to hear that cackle since, and I have not told a single person in the house about it.
Alright guys, that's gonna be in the part 1 of top 10 really creepy true stories there. And I gotta say, this is very interesting when I see it. And I think I'm gonna do this is part 1 right here. I'm gonna do part 2 right after part 1, and I'll do it right after this. Oh, and leave the comments down below which videos you want me to do, want me to react. I'd be happy to react to some more videos. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everything. Also, don't forget to follow my other account, Marshmallow King. Yes, that's one of my other nicknames I have. And yeah, I'm also known as Marshmallow King. That's just Cheesy Techno Boy, because I've always wanted to be called different nicknames. And these nicknames I've been using, I've always liked to use them, because why not change the name and never use a real name, just like everyone else. Anyways, I'll see you on the next video, and peace out.